Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Frank Leboeuf is here, Ali Moreno, Stevie, Nicol as well. First question is for you, Stephen.
Why are you sniggering already?
How many bags of crisps do you eat during a game? It was 3 today, wasn't it?
Nah, 4.
4 bags of chips,
4
crisps,
a day.
so where are you from?
Same flavor, different flavor?
No, different. 2 cheese and onion, the roast chicken and a plain.
There we are, all from England.
Okay.
What about the
all
vinegar? You don't like the vinegar ones?
It's every now and again.
Right.
Yeah, every now and
Bit of a
again.
scrunch nose of the salt and vinegar.
Aye.
Yeah.
It depends what kind of mood I'm in, Frankie.
For a change of pace, change of pace.
Aye, just change your pace.
For Ali, how long before Bayern snatches up Wirtz?
Not long. But they do have a player in Jamal Musiala who covers that position and who potentially is going to be future of Bayern for a long, long time. So I don't know that there's a need specifically for a guy like Wirtz, but I get the point. He was really good today. If he stays healthy, I think the talent is there. He will be snatched up, if not by Bayern, by somebody else soon enough.
Frank, I see you are 10 out of 11 on Premier League penalties, tied for 10th best of all-time percentage. So do they want to talk about the 10 you scored or the one you missed? Obviously, what's the story on the one you missed?
Well, the story on the one I missed. I remember one against Blackburn that the goalkeeper dove on the right side. He hit the post. The goalkeeper touched the ball. He hit the post, but he went out. So I don't know what I can say about that. It's the only thing I always said about shooting penalties. Just make sure you do whatever you have to do to score. And after, if the goalkeeper makes a magical save, congratulations to him. I remember, how do you say, sharing a hand with the goalkeeper because he saved the goal against. I was in Strasbourg against Lyon. It was Pascal Olmeta, and I say, well done, my man, because I did what I had to do, and he made a great save. So we have like a percentage of 95%, I would say, to score a penalty. So if the goalkeeper makes a save, you have to congratulate him. You don't sleep at night, you get upset, but it's what it is. But yeah, I had a good time shooting penalties because I was trusting myself and I was doing everything I had to do, and I wasn't playing with the goalkeepers.
Steve, Klopp got angry today at a journalist after the journalist asked a question Klopp deemed very unserious. Oh, what was the question? I don't know what that was.
What was the question?
Did you ever go after a journalist because of a question they asked, and did your relationship with said journalist improve at all afterwards?
Yeah, I was asked when I first took over the Revs, after about 3 months, we were still bottom of the league.
Okay.
And there was an English guy in the crowd, a journalist in the crowd. I can't remember his name now, but he asked me if I was going to resign. Right?
Yeah.
And I just looked him straight in the face. I said, no, I don't resign. And that was it.
Right.
So fast forward about 9 years later.
Okay.
So we've had a great run from there.
Yes.
9 years later.
Yeah, full finals, US Open
full
Cup.
finals, yeah, all of it, right? And we're struggling, right? Don't have a good team. We're not winning games. And there was a Portuguese journalist.
Oh dear. Okay, right.
And he was sitting in the front row, and he asked me if I was going to resign.
Okay.
And I said, number one, I don't resign. And number two, have you been talking to so-and-so whose name I can't remember?
Yeah.
Right? Now, the person who I couldn't remember was in the press box. I wasn't actually in the press conference. And somehow took the hump that I'd said what I'd said. So he came down to the changing rooms. We're down in the dungeon, came down to our changing rooms and asked if he could have a word with me. Right. I said, aye, in you come. And he came in and he went, well, I don't think that was very appropriate what you said.
Oh.
I said, you don't? I said, well, let me tell you something. I don't think what you asked me 9 years ago was very appropriate. I said, so
9 years.
let's call it a draw then. And he just looked at me and turned around and walked out.
So this is a man who I've got to say didn't know what the day of the week was today, yet remembers 9 years ago.
No, hold on. No. That's
Well, that's true. You didn't know today was Friday.
That's where you're making it sound what it wasn't. The reason I thought it was Monday
Right.
was because the Haggis has got a skin issue, right?
Right.
And this particular
the dog, by the way.
Yeah, my dog. This particular vet, who my wife likes, only works on a Monday.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And she said this morning, when we were on the walk, I'm going to phone the vets
Okay.
to speak to Dr. Nasser.
Right.
Right? And so I got it in my head that it was a Monday.
Okay.
And that's why later on, when I spoke to my wife, when I realised she had taken the dog out,
Yes.
I thought she'd got an appointment for the vet, and the one she wants only works on a Monday.
So that's the-
So I said at the time, I forgot it wasn't Monday. So then Smarty Pants started his usual patter, giving it, he doesn't even know what day of the week it is.
Well, you
It's Monday, it's Friday's Monday.
You didn't know what day of the week it was.
Yeah, but for a split second, I wasn't running about all day thinking it was Monday.
Well, you kind of were, because you were getting...
No, I wasn't.
It was all about Dr. Nasser when he was in.
And
So,
I thought at least you would have been in the
Listen,
ballpark Thursday or Saturday, but Monday.
it's two versions to every story,
Right.
and I've given you mine.
Right,
Okay.
you thought it was
Thank
Monday
you.
because Dr. Nasser was working.
Correct.
And calendars and things just don't
No. You seem to have calendar.
don't exist. Frank, you obviously fought out with journalists in the past. Did you ever build bridges with them?
I smashed a journalist once.
Yeah.
I have to say, and I did it after a year because when I arrived with the national team, that guy said that I had nothing to do with the national team, that I was too old, I was 26, that maybe half of a dozen of players should have been picked instead of me, where on the 6 players that he was naming, 5 of them were injured. And then Aimé Jacquet asked me to not answer, otherwise I would have been immediately kicked out of the national team. So I said nothing until we qualified for the Euro 96, and the guy came in the dressing room and I said, no, you're not coming. I tried to make the story short, and he left and came back after, and I say, no, I told you it's definite, I don't want to see you. And he said, oh, shut up. And I went out of my bench and I kicked him. And I apologized like 10 years after that, after my career, and we became friends. But I told him that what he was doing was completely unfair. And he exactly told me that he was upset, not with me, but because of Aimé Jacquet, because Aimé Jacquet told him the day before that nobody new will come with the national team. And it's why he was upset with me. So, mistakes by everybody, and it's the past, so everything is forgiven, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, well, mistake by everybody, but only one got kicked. Just saying.
All is forgiven.
Gently, just the knee on the stomach.
Well, at least it was the stomach.
What's that? What are you saying?
I can't imagine you had any sort of rapport with journalists.
No, it was very straightforward, very as a matter of fact, you asked me a question, answer the question.
But I'm not your friend.
And they weren't.
No.
And they aren't.
No.
And I mean,
I'm not.
they're not.
I'm not your friend.
And look, I'm not gonna say that all journalists do this, but I've come across people that are not all that honest in their reporting. And a lot of the things that are reported are either out of context or are not, they go from being just reporting what's happening to actually personal shots. And when it becomes a personal thing, then that's when I have a problem. And that happened a few times over the course of my career, particularly back home. And you learn to ignore it, but the way that you ignore it is that you become very weary.
Very guarded, yeah?
Very guarded, very weary. And that's why your answers become yes, no, no, I don't think so, no, yes, no. That's it. because if we can have a symbiotic relationship, if I respect you, you respect me. But when you take it a step too far multiple times, then at that point, there is no measure of respect. And so therefore, I'm not going to make your job any easier when you're making my job a whole lot more difficult by fabricating stories.
A lot of the time what the press guys do is they ask you a question because they've figured out what they want to write about.
Yeah.
And so they're asking you questions so that they can put down the narrative they want. And unfortunately, it's very difficult until you've dealt with somebody before you figure out that's what they're up to.
Right.
Because they're not all like that, but there are who are asking you a certain question to set you up. And unfortunately, sometimes the first time you have anything to do with them, you fall into the trap. But unfortunately for them, it hurts them in the long run because you tell them nothing. So you've just got to be careful.
I'll give you a quick example. I was with Chivas USA, and for those that don't know, that was a miserable time for everybody, me included. We actually win a game at Portland, and the stadium was packed as it always is in Portland. That wasn't the case for Chivas USA. We just didn't have the kind of support that we would have wanted. I was asked a question about the environment in the stadium, and you said, loved it.
Yes.
It's great to play in this environment. It's great to be able to come in here and be able to win a game, and we can only hope that we can recreate some of these same feelings at home. That's it. That's a quote.
The headline was...
Well, the headline, there was no headline on that. There was reporting on what the game had been. In fact, I had scored the game-winning goal. There was no reporting on that. He hung on to whatever I said, and then because there were issues and controversy about the club and the lack of support that the club was getting by the fans or whatever, so on and so forth, 2 or 3 weeks later, when we finally came back home to play, he then put that in an article, and that article where he was building a case as to what the struggles were for the club and made it sound as if I was saying that I didn't appreciate our fans. Now, you asked me about what was happening in Portland, and I told you how good it was to play there. And then you took that and made it into a story.
Did you call him out?
No, I just didn't talk to him.
Right.
That's it.
It's good that we all get on here, though. No
Yeah.
problem. It's nice, isn't it, Stephen?
Yeah.
When fully healthy, Ali, should Musiala start over Muller?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple.
That time, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Muller did not look good today. For Frank, my cousin is taking a mandatory drama class in high school, but she's shy. Any advice can you give to overcome the shyness and succeed in the class? Thank you. I don't know if Frank's the one to ask, considering his lack of shyness.
Oh, I don't even know what shyness means, so...
No.
But I understand that, and you have many actors who are very, very shy, but as soon as they are behind a camera or on stage, they let it go. It's like going to see your shrink and being able to do something you will never do in a normal life. And you have to use that shyness to explore so many things, and it's what's good about acting. It's not a real life. You pretend to be somebody else, and it's how you have to challenge yourself. You're an actor overall, so try to do something you will never do. So if you're shy, try to not be shy and see how it works, and that would be great. You have so many actors who are very shy but have so many talents and don't show that on the screen. So it's a great therapy.
Oh, nice. Good advice to end the show, I feel. Don't kick journalists in the stomach.
Yeah, that's good.
And if you're shy, pretend
You
you're
ever
not
shy?
shy. I think it's perfect. And what's today, Stevie?
Were you ever shy?
No.
No, I don't think so.
We're Monday. We're Monday.
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 Yeah. Oh, it's on tonight. My
where's Doctor-
favourite programme's on tonight. Monday. Brilliant.
Where's Dr. Nasser when you need him? We'll be back tomorrow for more. Of course, busy weekend. We'll be reflecting on Manchester United, Brighton, Barcelona playing as well. Liverpool playing, and Wolves, they'll lose because it's early.
Oh, nice and early. Can't wait to get up early.
Oh, tough life.